Hello. So, in this video there today, I'm going to be talking about a lot of older kind of game topics. I have a notepad file here, which hopefully should have a bit more structure to what I'm about to be talking about. The title will kind of reflect that of the video. I haven't really came up with one yet, but we'll see what happens. So I have a list of 5 topics here that I want to speak about there today. Just talking about really a comparison there between old games to new, really. So first topic here is playing BF2, Modern Combat, and Ridge Racer Type 4. So I had the opportunity. I recently got a refurbished PlayStation 2, and I've also modified my PlayStation 3 with what's known as Hen. So I'm able to pretty much play PS2 and also PS1 games on either genuine hardware or emulation for that reason. And so I played Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. I had not heard anything about the game. I've known about the Battlefield franchise for a long, long time. Really, really enjoy it. But playing Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, the only thing that was available to me was the campaign. I don't have a network adapter in the PS2. So I start playing the campaign. First mission, I learn about what is known as the hotspot mechanic. And it was very interesting. Being able to, by simply pressing the square button and looking at a soldier as part of your squad, and then being transported to wherever they are, whether they're like 200 meters away and on top of a building, sniping or taking a vantage point, you press a button and you go from being an assault to an engineer on top of that building in that town with a new set of weapons, a new vantage point, and it gives you the advantage over the opposition. I thought that absolutely blew my mind. And the fact that they managed to pull that off on a PS2, really? Like, what on earth? I was absolutely blown away by that. On the back of the case of the game, it mentions how it's like this is like the future of like first person shooter mechanics and all sorts of business like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but after reading that, I kind of came to the realization that I don't think I've seen that in a Battlefield game since. So, but it was fair play, and what they did with that is they made a completely new mechanic. They innovated, they tried something new, and they took a risk. Right, that turned out to be the main thing for that game, and I don't think I've seen it come back in a Battlefield game there since. And I compare it to what games are doing there now with taking risks, and I don't think I've seen mechanics, themes, things like that in the likes of modernish Call of Duty and Battlefield titles. I don't think I've seen modern day Call of Duty and Battlefield titles really take risks with how they present themselves, shock factor and things like that in the themes of the games, and playing it safe with how the mechanics work and how they run their menus, the UI, especially the storefronts as well. I'll get onto that. Oh god, I'll get onto that. But the next game that I want to speak about here as well is Ridge Racer Type 4 for the PlayStation 1. So, Ridge Racer Type 4, the main thing I want to speak about on that is the soundtrack of the game. You take a listen to the soundtrack of Ridge Racer Type 4, and this is like, oh my, again, blows you away. The fact that they managed to fit this shit on a PS1 is mad. The tunes on that game, absolutely unbelievable. I'd only listened to the soundtrack, but then never played the game to accompany it. And now I get to understand and see the context of some of the songs, the way that they'd fade out and then fade back in. It felt a bit weird there to me until I actually played the game and heard these songs in the background of like the menus and the main menu theme, the main intro theme, things of that nature, and it's just a really good fucking soundtrack. This topic is more of like kind of like a passionate, kind of speaking out of passion, not really out of like criticism. If anyone out there watching this, take a listen to the Ridge Racer Type 4 soundtrack. Perfect soundtrack for a racing game. Any song fits any course, I guarantee it. Unbelievable stuff. So, the next topic that I want to speak about is older COD titles, calling cards, and emblems. So, what I mean by this is that the the identity of a character or like a player online is usually seen throughout COD lobby menus and things like that. You know, when you hover over someone's name, say if you're in like an MW2 lobby, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, whatever it may be, you hover over someone's name, you get to see obviously the gamer tag with the emblem that they've chosen, and then also the title. There used to be like these titles that you could set, and they'd be unlockables as well. So being able to see that, and then say if someone gets a triple kill, their whole thing, their name, emblem, title, gets shown at the top right hand of the screen, saying that they've done this or they've captured a flag. Like, they get recognised in game for doing these actions, and it just means more there for the impact of what's going on there in that match. Someone gets a quad feed or quad kill, it gets displayed. You know, I'm seeing a lot with modern day Call of Duty titles. However, it's just simply, you just don't see that. If anything, you may see a name. I don't think I remember, and again, correct me if I'm wrong there. If this is happening, if this is still happening in modern day Call of Duties, I will completely take accountability for mistakenly putting this out there to you. But I just don't see that recognition of players doing these things to change the outcome of a match. Essentially, someone confirms a bunch of kills in kill confirmed. Someone plants a bomb in search and destroy. Someone gets a double kill, triple kill, things of that nature. You just don't see that character being like, or that player being shouted out in game, where you could see it all of the time in all of these past Call of Duty titles. I don't understand what the issue is, and why they cannot implement that in again. So unlockable titles, emblems, and things of that nature, it's only a thing that I think gets shown in menus, I think, but not as much as it once was in previous Call of Duty titles back in the day. So I would like to see that back. That would be alright. Cheers, lads. Nice. Having a look there. Next topic. Devs not supporting older COD titles, instead just making remasters. BF. Okay, so yeah, Battlefield still has a stable server experience. So with this one, I'm meaning, so the absolute state of the majority of the older CODs on PS3. I recently found out, I felt like I was living under a rock when I found this out, but the whole name change update or something like that in 2019 for the PS3 has rendered the majority of the PlayStation 3 older Call of Duties effectively useless. If you don't have an account that has played these older CODs since, or when they were around, if you don't have that, or the account that you have was made before that update, you have to pass so much criteria. The worst of it is Black Ops 2. That game will crash on startup 9 times out of 10, and you have to jump through like these odd sign out of PSN loops just to get the game to run, which is crazy to me. What's even worse about it is that you could hop on MW2 on a brand new account, play a bunch of games, get to level 10, but as soon as you log off for the night and then go to sign back in and log back into the game on PS3 the next day, all of your stats are reset. And that is for a plethora of the older Call of Duties. Not all of them, but for quite a few of the more notable ones, which is absolute. It's not stable. It's not showing support there for the older games whatsoever. But however, instead of fixing the servers and fixing all of these mad bugs and the hackers and the people who just turn team deathmatch lobbies into like these crazy fucking free-for-all fiestas where everyone's just beating the shit out of each other, and you've got someone with a nuke going off for like 2 hours in the background, which isn't annoying at all, I swear. Instead, what the companies are doing is that they'll just release remasters of the games instead, and then proceed to put in current day monetization tactics and marketing into these games. For what purpose? Greed. Classic, as always. Modern Warfare 2 got a campaign remaster, but not a multiplayer remaster. But COD 4 did, and that's the only reason why Infinite Warfare sold that year, funnily enough. And that was only part of a Legacy Edition as well, so you had to pay extra there at the time to get it. Stupid. It is so out of touch. But then the next part of what I was talking about with this is the fact that Battlefield, a lot of the games still have a stable server experience. I've seen on this is the majority of me speaking on PC. I know consoles, I think they're pretty much abandoned at this point, especially with the older titles such as Bad Company 2. Battlefield 3 is a hard one on the PS3 simply because you needed to have an online pass. I'll keep it real, I'll keep it blunt. You cannot get nowadays without either jumping through a really big hoop with someone that you trust, or getting it by non-legitimate means. I won't go into explaining it, but there is ways there of activating an online pass without needing to find, because I don't believe that they're available anymore. Since the PSN store is like gone. I think you need to like link up with like an EA account or something, or like an Origin account. I can't remember the full gist of it, but yeah, that online pass for Battlefield 3 is a really big deal breaker when it comes to the PlayStation 3. Unsure about Xbox, but I know that PC definitely still to this day has a very stable battle log experience, even though a lot of the PC players do tend to stray away from it and kind of detest it a little bit, which I don't blame them. You know, being brought out of a game, not having its own native server browser within the game, you have to go to a website to launch matches. It's a little bit tedious, but it still shows. Like, I can log on to Battlelog there now, and there are at least, I'm still seeing a good like 4 or 5 full conquest games on the weekends. So it's still alive, and it's still thriving out here. You know, it's not dead. Same thing goes with Battlefield 4, and that has a native server browser. And on that game on the weekends, I'm seeing at least 9, 10, even upwards of 12 full online active servers, and everyone gets the DLC there now, so it just makes it 10 times better. It's great. You know, with the PC versions, and you know the way that they can be natively ran through Steam, through the EA app, you're barely ever going to find any sort of hackers, or there's like really like solid decent anti-cheat, because what's the point? What really is the point of still hacking or cheating in a game that is long gone? And again, what's the point of even hacking at all? What is the point of it? It's pointless at the end of the day, and it will always degrade from the natural experience of how the game should be played. That's it, simply put. So the next topic there that I'd like to speak about is about Battlefield 6. So I'm pretty much comparing the state of the game at beta and launch to what it is slowly became now, and I'll go into it. So from beta, playing the beta, I only joined in on the second weekend and had an absolute blast. I was like, yes, this is absolutely fantastic. And then the game launched, and I was still having absolute fun there with it. It was absolutely fantastic. It was one of the first Battlefield games I ever went and redone the campaign, every single mission in that campaign, even though it was quite a short one, to still go out there and grab every collectible that I could. And I even got the little icon. And I can't remember if there was a camo involved with it as well, but I can remember getting there was a few achievements and stuff like that, a few Steam achievements there. I put it's been like a good 30-ish hours. Let me double check actually. Let me see, it's got to be somewhere around here, yeah. Even so I haven't played since the start of Season 1, and I still put about 33 hours into the game before that point. So the turning point for me with Battlefield 6 was just simply put, as soon as RedSec hit, as soon as these little cracks and these little things started to show about the game, it kind of really tainted my view on, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be playing this game there for much longer. It was done so easily, and they've done it so easily by, again, trying to incorporate these marketing tactics of these modern day storefronts and the monetization and these bundles that you sat there paying like 10 to 20 quid there for each. Battle passes, this FOMO kind of farming kind of simulator where you have to play, you have to be there all the time. The retention needs to be there. You need to keep on playing. You've put money into a pass now. You have to complete it if you want to get the full potential thing out of it. For me, as soon as I saw that storefront, and then the small controversies about like the AI generation being used in certain arts, certain, like, I think it's like either spray paints or emblems or calling cards of some kind, I cannot remember, being used within the game. Again, it's like, it felt like there was soul and there was passion behind how the game was being marketed from the game until launch. And now I just think I'm looking at the game now and I'm like, I don't want to play it there simply because of these reasons. And the gameplay is great. However, there is still netcode problems within the game, which I don't think have been fully fleshed out. You've got games there that are running quite comfortably on 60Hz servers that were made about a decade ago and have more secure netcode and hit registration. It's crazy, you know. You click a button and you shoot a bullet at an enemy soldier and your bullets just won't hit. It's a madness, it is. Absolute madness. When I think about these DLCs, what I'd rather have again would be just get paid DLC at a quarter amount of the year. I think COD perfected this at the time with the likes of, I think it started in Black Ops 1, if I'm not mistaken. You had like First Strike, I think it was First Strike, Escalation, Annihilation, and then Resurrection. So they'd release 4 DLC packs over the year, and each of them would cost about, it was either like £12 or £15 to get them downloaded. But you knew that every single thing that was advertised, you could get, you would have. It was a promise. It was a promise that what you saw that was marketed, you could have right there on the purchase. No being put on a fucking railcar track and spending tens and tens of hours to get what it is that had been advertised. Like, that's just not how it should be. As a customer, as a consumer, you need to make sure that the goods and the services that you are providing are exact to the point, and how they are marketed should be received upon that transaction. It's mad. It's crazy. You go to a store, you buy literally anything there from a store. You pick up, you find what you want, and you put the money in. The goods, the transaction, the service is exchanged onto yourself. You get given a receipt for said goods, and you walk away a happy customer. That is how it should always be. You get exactly what you pay for. That is how it should work. I think as well with Battlefield 6, I have this quote here that I've kind of made up there alongside for this segment. I've put down, robbed of memories and nostalgia, sold an empty promise. What I meant by that was the way that the game was marketed and the release trailers at launch were kind of like setting Battlefield 6 was trying to like set itself aside, poking a little bit of fun at the likes of the modern day Call of Duty titles and things of that nature. But then what it became, it's like you just feel, I don't know, it's like a sense of betrayal, like a sense of just a complete rug pull from out underneath you. I feel like nowadays you're getting baited into paying full price for a game, and that's it. That's how they're marketing the games, and then afterwards the effort and the passion and the soul just completely dies out along with it. How long did it take until all like skin controversy started coming about there for Battlefield 6? Because apparently they weren't like grounded or realistic enough there for the veteran audience that would rather prefer having these games. It creates a lot of conversation, and these conversations were popping up shortly not long after the game was well released. Season 1, that was it. As soon as I saw that storefront on Battlefield 6, that was it. I was gone. Absolutely gone. I have not touched the game there since. It's a just for the multiplayer alone, it's a 70 gig install as well, just for the multiplayer. I purposefully removed, since I'm not playing the campaign anymore. I've already done everything that I've needed to do in the game. RedSec, I couldn't care less about. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a dead on arrival experience there for a lot of people as well. With that being said, I think that's everything there that I wanted to speak about for today. I went through the entire list. Just get rid of all this passive stuff. You know, bring back that DLC model that you'd be able to quarterly buy throughout the year or a couple of years there through a game's life cycle. Being able to put one transaction in and receive all of the one set of exact goods and services back to you, back to the customer. That's how it should be. That's how it was until I guess greed took over. As Charlie Chaplin once famously said, as part of the Great Dictator in his speech, greed has poisoned men's souls. Very, very true quote. Still remains to this day. Their flags may be different, but their methods stay the same. Anyway, this has been I, Near Distance, signing off once again. I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and I will see you when I see you. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your days, evenings, and all nights. And yeah, see you later. Bye-bye.